What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 1 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. Today we are continuing to use this really cool hard trick room team built by Dango VGC. We had a lot of fun with it yesterday. Unfortunately, we did get a little bit hacked out, and so we're hoping to kind of fix that today. So looking at my opponent's first team, it is Serena with Goldango, Grimmsnarl, what is that thing called? Mudsdale, Rotom, and Gastrodon. So a lot of things here, right? The thing worth noting is going to be that Serena, right, with that Queenly Majesty. I do like Abomasnow a lot, actually. I think it does have to be a little bit weary of some things, but it does have a lot of pressure overall. So I'm going to actually do Armarouge with Abomasnow, just trying to get set up under Trick Room. And then from there, I think Kingambit is very good, as is Sylveon. So this is going to kind of be the plan, right? We're hoping to set up a Trick Room and then go from there. And so really, right, like Goldango is a little bit scary, but we do have access to things like Wide Guard. So we can sort of play around with that of like, what do you think I'm going to do? Do you think I'm going to Wide Guard? Do you think I'm going to Trick Room? And we can kind of deal with Goldango that way. As we are going to see the Grimmsnarl and the Mudsdale. And so kind of an interesting choice from my opponent here, right? I very much appreciate the ability to try and set up and Aurora Veil. So I'm going to go for the Aurora Veil here, as well as go for the Trick Room, right? And then I think once we're under Trick Room, we can kind of go from there. I'm really hoping that the Grimmsnarl isn't fake out, but that's not something that we could have known. As the Rock Slide going to come out here, it is going to critically miss on the Armarouge, which means that we can set up a Trick Room pretty freely here. And now we can try to, go for a Blizzard. So now is the question, right? Do we Blizzard or do we Wide Guard? I mean, not Wide Guard. Do we Aurora Veil? We have Sylveon in the back. So I do want to set up an Aurora Veil here and go for the Wide Guard, right? Just trying to stop the Rock Slide. And then we can try and adjust here. I do expect probably a screen to come out from the Grimmsnarl. We should fire this off, making us pretty safe from a potential Rock Slide here, as we will see. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's going to be the light screen, as we will just be able to set up a nice little... okay, perfect. We do, right, see the Wide Guard going to work out here, letting us get up the Aurora Veil. And now we can really start doing some good damage here, right? Taking advantage of the fact that we are also going to have our selves protected for a couple turns here. And I'm going to now just fire off a Blizzard, as well as go for a second Wide Guard, right? I don't know what that, the Mudsdale can really do here. It's also really, really big. I just noticed how big it is. And I don't know if they're normally that big. Interesting. Anyway, we're just going to try and start pressuring with some damage. We are going to see the switch out here, and it is going to be into that Rotom, right? So Rotom, probably not super worried about a Blizzard, but we can at least get some good damage out. I do expect probably something like a Spirit Break from the Grimmsnarl, really just trying to reduce the amount of damage we're doing. But we do get like a really solid chunk right onto that Grimmsnarl, and so at this point we can go for the double up, right? It is a little bit unfortunate that actually... I'm going to Armor Cannon into the Grimmsnarl, right? I want to get rid of it as soon as we can. We do need to be a little bit wary. Okay, so I think at this range we should be able to pick up the knockout with, with the Blizzard. So that'll be really good, right? Getting rid of the Grimmsnarl, getting some chip onto the Rotom. Most likely going to see, an Overheat going into... Okay, it's going to be Trick, actually. So Trick giving us a Choice Scarf, most likely. We are going to get the Choice Scarf, so that's fine, right? No item for the Rotom. The question now is, what do we lock ourselves into? I'm kind of fine with the idea of Wide Guard if it is going to be that Mudsdale. As we will see, yeah, it is going to be Mudsdale indeed coming out here. I'm fine to go for a Blizzard, as well as go for the Wide Guard. I think that's fine to lock us into for now. Right, we can try and dodge an incoming Rock Slide. We could see a single target move from the Mudsdale. We are going to see the close combat, actually. So little less than ideal. but we are going to get a pretty critical drop on the Mudsdale's defenses, which means that we can pressure pretty aggressively after that. We are going to see, okay, it is the Life Orb as the Shadow Ball going to come out here. So this is really scary, right? Not something you see every day on a Rotom here, as the snow is going to stop, which means the Twisted Dimensions are going to return to normal here. I'm going to bring out the Sylveon, and I do want to switch out my Armourouge here. So I'm going to go for the Hyper Voice and then switch out into the Kingambit, right? I expect you to go for another Shadow Ball. And what's nice now, right, is Kingambit will have access to Sucker Punch. So that is something that we can really take advantage of. We could see the Rotom going for a trick, right, trying to steal that Choice Scarf from us, or not that Choice Scarf, that thing from us, as we will see a switch out into whatever my opponent has in the last, as it is going to be Goldango. So Goldango, okay, perfect. It is going to be a Shadow Ball into the Kingambit, right, doing no damage at all. We do luckily have that Aurora Veil to sort of help us out here. But the big question now, right, is we have to worry about an overheat. We're also going to start taking more damage. I want to protect here. I'm going to Sucker Punch into the Rotom. I assume from this range, we can get the knockout, right? And if we can get the knockout, we should be in pretty good shape, because then we can KO the Goldango the subsequent turn, and force a one-on-one or a one-on-two with what's it called, Armourouge, which can go for the big armor cannons or the expanding force. And we're in a scenario where the Mudsdale will have taken a couple turns of Life Orb chip, and so yeah, we are going to see the Goldango indeed going to go for that Terastallization, becoming the Steel type, which means it's going to hit pretty hard. But I'm hoping that Kingambit's naturally bulk will just let it take a hit or two, as we will fire off the Sucker Punch into the Rotom. Perfect. It is going to be enough for that knockout there. And we should see, what's it called, a Shadow Ball, okay, going into the Sylveon slot. So that's really important, right? Like, if this thing is Scarf Locked, we now are in a really good position, or if it's Choice Locked, sorry. We are going to see the Mudsdale come back out here. I'm going to go for the Hyper Voice, as well as go for the Cowtown Cleave into the Mudsdale, right? I need to be faster with Kingambit, which I'm probably not. And in hindsight, this probably wasn't the best play. Okay, let's see what the Goldango, it's okay, it is going to be Shadow Ball, so this really suggests to me that you are Choice Locked, and so it's not doing that much. You do unfortunately get the big special defense drop, as we will fire off a really strong Hyper Voice into the Mudsdale. We are going to see the stamina boost, which is a little bit what's it called, horrifying. Unfortunately, that defense really gonna hurt us here, as it's going to let it fire off a big high horsepower into the Kingambit, which is going to be enough for the knockout. And so now is the question of, okay, you are in range of a Life Orb hit, right? Or not of a Life Orb hit, of a Quick Attack. So I'm going to Quick Attack into the Goldango, or not the Goldango, the Mudsdale, hoping that that's enough. And then I'm hoping that the Terra Grass lets us survive. The issue, right, is if we don't outspeed and KO, which we might, right? We are Choice Lock or Choice Scarfed. So a really big chance of getting the knockout here, as Quick Attack should be perfect enough to finish off the Mudsdale. And so now we can fire off hopefully an Armor Cannon. We are unfortunately not going to be faster than the Goldango. I was really hoping with the Choice Scarf that would be the case, but it looks like it's not. So the Goldango most likely going to be able to what's it called, finish us off here, especially because we do have that special defense drop. So unfortunate. Right, I feel like we brought the right four. The fake out obviously was something really difficult. And yeah, getting choice locked, we should have probably switched a little bit sooner. So always a rough start, but let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. All right, battle number 2, and it is Dondozo Tatsugiri with Sylveon, Meowscarada, Tyranitar, and Lycanroc. So a couple different things here, right? Trying to think what is our best way for this. So what I think I want to do here is I think I want to do Indeedee with the Armarouge, right? So we can either set up or yeah, let's do that. I think I want Kingambit. I want Hariyama most likely, right? Hariyama makes the most sense here. Let's bring Hariyama, and then what is better? Kingambit. I like Kingambit here. Let's do this. So I feel like given the fact that there's sand, that is most likely Choice Band Protean Meowscarada. So that's going to be a little bit interesting. I might want to yeah, so I might want to Terrasilize pretty quickly, right? We have Terra Fairy Indeedee, as we are going to see, yeah, the Lycanroc with the Tyranitar, so kind of expected here. I'm going to go for the Wide Guard and set up the Trick Room, just because I think that that's sort of our best bet. We are committing our Terrastalization into the Indeedee, but we really don't have a better option, in all honesty. So I'm going to go for Terra Fairy into the Trick Room, followed by a Wide Guard here, right? And so the issue then becomes, how do we deal with both the Tyranitar and the Lycanroc, right? If we know the Tyranitar is Dark type, right, we can't Expanding Force into it. The Lycanroc most likely has the Focus Sash, so something else to be a little bit weary of. But this is sort of our best bet, right, of saying, hey, if you're going to go for like an Assurance into the Indeedee, it's not going to matter. We can then single target Expanding Force into the Lycanroc, just trying to get some damage here. And so let's kind of see how it plays out. As yeah, the Indeedee is going to become the Fairy type, and so yeah, barring some sort of freak thing that I can't really see happening, I think that we should be in a really good position, as the Wide Guard going to come out, right? Let's see if they go for the Rock Slide. They might not take the bait. They are going to take the bait, actually, so that's actually really good for us, right? As we could see an Assurance come out from the Tyranitar into the Indeedee, doing pretty much nothing. Yeah, it's going to be the Assurance. Awesome. So we now have a free Trick Room set up for us, and we can now really sort of put on a lot more pressure, right? Going for an Expanding Force, as well as a... It is a little bit tricky, right? The Expanding Force now... what's it called? What am I trying to say? The Tyranitar now has good damage into us. I'm going to go for a Dazzling Gleam, as well as go for the Expanding Force, targeting the Lycanroc, just with the idea that if it's Sash, right, we can break the Sash. And this way we can also get some chip on the Tyranitar. It is potentially Assault Vest, but we do have access to Hariyama in the back. So even if they get a knockout, it ends up being pretty okay for us. And so we just now need to get some big knockouts here. And I think that this is really going to help us, right? We might get hit by the Tyranitar, as we are going to see the Lycanroc actually withdraw. And so the question is, what is going to come out here? As it is going to be the Sylveon. So this Sylveon really not going to like getting hit with this double up, as the Tyranitar going to actually Terrasilize. If this is into a flying type, right, that is going to be awesome for us, as we will be able to get a ton of damage with the Dazzling Gleam, as well as with the Expanding Force now being dual target instead of single. And so that, like I said, is super great for us. Expanding Force, let's see how much this does. Survey says not as much as I would like, but we are getting a boosted hit from the Indeedee. And so now the Rock Slide going to come out. Let's see. Armarouge is going to critically survive here. And so now Armarouge is the fastest thing on the field, followed by Indeedee, which is really good for us, right? This means that... what's it called? The Sylveon might go down. I don't know if Sylveon goes down to the Expanding Force. I'm fine to... Actually, no. I'm just going to Helping Hand the Armarouge and go for the Expanding Force once again. Target into the Tyranitar, right? With that boost, it should be enough for the knockout. Worst case, right, we do get rid of the Sylveon. We have access to the Hariyama, which can go for a Bullet Punch, taking advantage of the fact that the Tyranitar is not grounded. And so this, I think, is our best bet. I still am really, really weary of the Lycanroc, right? It is something that we have to worry about in the end game, especially, right, given the fact that it can do a lot. So Helping Hand can come out here, hoping it is enough for the double KO, as that would really sort of make my life a little bit easier. We are going to see the Protect here, so hopefully, like I said, this is going to be enough for the knockout onto at least the Tyranitar, taking advantage of the Helping Hand, as my opponent really trying to stall out these Trick Room turns, as yeah, we do get a really big KO there. So now we are up in the count. We still have a couple turns of Trick Room left. I need to double check. That was, I think, the second turn of Trick Room. We are running really, really low, right? But it's not an issue. It is a little bit of an issue because we do have to be wary of, yeah, the amount of health we have, which is getting a little bit scary. But, right, we should be pretty fine overall in terms of survivability. And so we can, yeah, just figure out. We are going to see the Meowscarada here. So what do we have? We have Hariyama in the back. How many turns of Trick Room are left? There are 2 turns of Trick Room left. I'm going to go for a Dazzling Gleam and an Armor Cannon into the Meowscarada. Right, we can set up a scenario where the Lycanroc, okay, so they're gonna go into my Psychic Terrain, so that's awesome. We will get a super effective Armor Cannon onto the Meowscarada. Like I said, I do expect this to be banded. Perfect, so that means we're gonna have a single target Dazzling Gleam into the Sylveon, which if we don't pick up the knockout, we should be able to, with our, we're speed tying. Okay, so Indeedee is speed tying with the Sylveon, which is good to know, but it shouldn't be able to survive the sand, right? Dazzling Gleam should be enough to pick up the knockout here, right? Hopefully, not quite enough, but the Sandstorm, I'm hoping, will be enough. Unfortunately, not going to be enough, so a little bit tricky here, right? Let's swap into the Kingambit. I think that this is our best bet, right? We still have access to Hariyama with Bullet Punch. And so I think what we can do is, I think we go for the Dazzling Gleam. I cannot see the Sylveon knocking out Kingambit. And we Iron Head into the Lycanroc. Right, that gives us access to priority if we need it, right, with the Sucker Punch as well as the Bullet Punch. And so we can just Bullet Punch into the Sylveon with the Hariyama, and then create a scenario where we can just continuously Sucker Punch towards the Lycanroc. I can't really see... Okay, perfect. I was going to say the scenario that most worries me, right, is if my opponent somehow Terrafire... Well, oh, no, they can't even Terrafire. This is actually a little bit scary because the Lycanroc now gets to attack. Okay, we get a flinch. We get rid of the Sylveon, and now, right, the weirdness is gone. We have double priority where we can go for the Bullet Punch into the Sylveon, as well as a Sucker Punch onto the Lycanroc. And we know that the Lycanroc is at 1, so I'm fine to click Bullet Punch here. I'm fine to go for a Sucker Punch here. And this way, we should be fine. We should have actually switched that in hindsight, only because of the fact that, right, like Lycanroc does have access to some support moves that we do have to be a little bit wary of, but this should still be fine, right? We are going to get that one knockout there, and then the Sucker Punch going to come out perfect onto the Lycanroc. I was worried about something like, what's it called? Endeavor. But I don't think Endeavor would have worked, right? You bring Hariyama down, Hariyama gets a Flame Orb, we just Bullet Punch the subsequent turn. So overall, a solid second game. I'm really glad that we were able to use some tips and tricks for handling that matchup. And let's just keep rocking and rolling and play one more. All right, last battle of the day, and it is Murkrow with a Farigiraf, a Glade, Goldango, the Rotom Wash, and Annihilate. So I feel pretty good about Indeed. I like Indeedee Armor Rouge a lot here. I think that it is just really solid damage. I want to bring Sylveon just because I'm a little bit worried about what the Annihilate can do. And then the question is, what do I want in the last slot? I'm leaning for Kingambit, right? Kingambit really just sort of helps our matchup into a couple things. And so I think that this just gives us overall the most solid core. And so what we can do is really play around with that damage and kind of see how everything works out. And sorry, I'm looking at, okay, cool. Good to know. I just, needed to double check something. And let's see what we're going to see on lead here. We're going to see the Farigiraf and the Gallade. And so this is a little bit interesting because of the fact that so I'm going to just double up. I'm going to go for a Dazzling Gleam and an Expanding Force. I don't see a reason to go for something else. I probably should have Terrassalized because the Gallade is going to go for a Night Slash, isn't it? It's 100% going to go for a Night Slash. It might not. It might imprison. Like, the thing is, both of these can imprison. So that's okay. It's going to Wide Guard. So that's unfortunate. Because we went for double spread moves. Okay. So I'm assuming the Farigiraf is going to go for a Hyper Voice, right? It could be going for a Trick Room because it hasn't gone yet, and I remember it being kind of fast. And so we are going to see, it is going to indeed be that Hyper Voice. I'm fine to now go for a Follow Me, as well as fire off an Armor Cannon onto the Giraffe, right? We have Sylveon in the back, right? And that's perfect, right? Keep going for the Wide Guard. We will be able to, luckily, what's it called? We will be able to get some damage off. We can set up a Trick Room here, which isn't a horrible idea, right? We are going to get our defense dropped. We can go for another Follow Me as well as fire off. Okay, so you're going to fire off a Trick Room, which is awesome, right? Given the fact that we have the Room Service. And so now we're going to be the slowest thing on the field. I'm fine to... Oh, you're also Room Service. Oh, it's Leftovers. I was like, oh no. Let's go for another Follow Me here and then fire off an Armor Cannon onto the Giraffe. Right, the Gallade, that's fine. You can Wide Guard all day. I am going to single target, just pick off all of your Pokemon, taking advantage of the fact that I am the slowest thing on the field. We are really, really weak in our defenses now, so that's something to consider. But if I recall correctly, like nothing on my opponent's team should be super, super slow. And if that Gallade wants to click Wide Guard, I'm just going to let it click Wide Guard all day. I have no reason to go for anything else. It might... No. I was going to say, maybe it's choice locked. But that seems silly. I'm going to go for a Follow Me. And I'm going to target down the Gallade here. And the reason for that is I'm worried that it's going to be Fire Annihilate. And the last thing that I want to do is unnecessarily trigger that Rage Fist, right? Like giving it an unnecessary boost. We are going to see it, and I'm guessing it is going to be, yep, it is indeed that fire type. So, right, like I'm not trying to give it extra boost. I'm trying to make it so I can just KO that Annihilate in one shot. It does mean that we are kind of playing a little bit risky in terms of how we want to do damage. But that's fine. We will fire off the Armor Cannon into the Gallade, getting some really solid damage there. And the question now is, what is going to happen? Right, we are going to see the Sacred Sword into the Indeedee, and we should see the Rage Fist. Okay, perfect. Rage Fist going to go into the Indeedee. How many turns of Trick Room are left? We have 2 turns of Trick Room left. So I'm going to go for a... I'm going to Helping Hand, and I'm going to Expanding Force. Right, we can go for some other damage outside of that, right? We have access to Kingambit. So as long as we don't see a Wide Guard here, right, we should get a lot of damage onto the board. Perfect, right? Let's see how much this does into the Annihilate. Not quite enough for a KO, but we can just go for a Sucker Punch with the Kingambit, and there's really nothing that they can do. So a Rage Fist going to come out here onto Armarouge. Armarouge going to go down. Not the end of the world, right? Because of the fact that it wasn't, what's it called? It wasn't, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm going to bring out Kingambit, right? We have access to Sucker Punch. I want to potentially single target whatever is going to be next to it. It's going to be Goldango. Okay, so this is awesome, right? You can't, so I'm going to go for a Follow Me here, and then Cowtown Cleave into the Goldango, trying to get the knockout that way. And hopefully, right, they aren't Protect. I'm hoping they're not Protect. I'm hoping that they're a Choice variant, as we will see perfect no Protect coming out here, going into the Goldango, going to be enough for that knockout. So we should see a Rage Fist come out onto the Indeedee, and now, right, we have the ability just to go for a Sucker Punch as well, and clean things up pretty nicely. So we will be able, right, to wrap this one up. I'm going to go for a Dazzling Gleam just in case, as well as a Sucker Punch onto the Annihilate, which will, like I said, perfect clean things up. So overall, a lot better luck today, which I'm very thankful for. Yesterday was kind of unfortunate, but overall, some solid games. Huge shout out to Dango for the team. We might run it back for one more episode, depending on how things go. Right, I'm just trying to get some stuff out before the end of the year. So definitely be on the lookout for that. If you have any teams you want me to check out, definitely let me know. Would love to see what other people have, but that's all I got for today. And until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.